Hello, hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven. It's Friday. That means it's time for movie and TV talk. People have been asking me recently about what I think about other comics YouTube channels, and people know I don't like Perch particularly well. I don't like Thinking Critical, Stinky Goose, a few other guys. Sticky Goose, that's I call him Stinky Goose. A few others. There's different tones and different things that are just negative in tone, in my opinion, on those channels. So people were asking me, was there YouTube channels that do good mini documentaries or good shorts that are worth one's time, in my opinion? And, I don't normally go looking through all the different YouTube channels, mostly because I don't get frustrated with stuff I don't like. And there was always so much stuff to watch on YouTube and other things that the other guys were interested in that we hadn't really explored that. But since people had asked us, I started doing a little research, and I did come across some. And one of the channels I did like was Strange Brain Parts by Alan Cassavetes. And so we're going to talk about two of his shorts recently, last month or so, that I took a quick look at, and I'll give my thoughts on those. Okay, so let's start with The Rise and Fall of COMICO, the comic company, made documentary from the YouTube channel Strange Brain Parts. Researcher and narrator Alan Cassavetes, released August 21st, 2025 on YouTube. There's the link you can see on the channel. You can obviously you can't copy it, but it should be in my description. If it's not, I'll put it in there after the video's over in the comments. It lasts 28 minutes and 32 seconds, and what it's about, Alan Cassavetes explores the history of one of the 1980s premier independent comic book publishers, COMICO, and its fall into bankruptcy and ruin in the 1990s. Now, what did I think? Well, I think he gives a slightly truncated but extremely well-researched history of the company. While he touches upon many examples, pardon me, I'll sneeze here. Pardon me. The many examples of mismanagement and legal contractual issues the company had with their creators even before they entered into bankruptcy, most of that is handled with a just the facts point of view. He does the research to get some of the perspectives of parties involved, but there was a lot more that he could have delved into on several of these matters, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So much so that many of the cases would justify their own videos, and that's maybe why he only touches on them in a just the facts approach, which is not a criticism, just an observation at it. And like I said, we'll get to that in a little bit more in depth in a moment. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of information out there on COMICO's current owner, Andrew Rev. He's very secretive. He keeps himself well out of the public spotlight. All there is a lot of the people who have dealt with him have nothing good to say about him. And I, for one, have never been certain just how he acquired the control of the company to begin with. I don't know how he did it, but he did. But anyway, I think Cassavetes gives as thorough an examination as I've seen anyone offer, probably better than most. And all in all, a very well-produced mini documentary worth your time to watch. I give it a 4 out of 5. Now, as I was saying, a lot of the truncated parts, I guess you could say, well, he touched about a few of the book series and what happened with those creators. Like he talks about Matt Wagner having to go sue them to get his rights back for Gwendolyn Mage. He talks about Bill Willingham selling the rights to Elementals just to get the headache out of his hands, so to speak, because the contract was screwed up when Rev took over the company. Just a lot of headaches and heartaches over that. And like I said, there'd be a really long, in-depth perception of each one, presentation of each one of those. Well, it turns out that he does do some of that, and is in the process of doing that. So what was kind of odd was that he did some of the videos before he did the COMICO. He should have done COMICO first, released it first, and then did these as follow-ups. And this is one of the, it should be a follow-up, but it aired before. And that is the next one we're going to talk about. And that is the Elementals from Greatness to Exploitation, a Strange Brain Parts mini documentary. Again, researcher narrator Alan Cassavetes, which was released August 8th, 2025. They should have been reversed, in my opinion. Again, there's the link. It lasts about 25 minutes and 20 seconds. And this video goes into a deep dive into the origin, history, and exploitative decline of the comic series The Elementals, written by Bill Willingham and published by COMICO from 84 to 97. Like I said, what I just said in the previous video, this is exactly what I was getting at. This should have been released after the COMICO as a whole video. Use that as the intro, and then a video like this to follow up the specifics of the particular series. Subsequently, you do one about Mage and Gwendolyn Mage, Agency and Fish Police, etc. That having been said, he does a very solid, thorough examination and tries to boil it down to under 30 minutes. While I myself didn't get any information, I do feel like it's a very strong piece of video that is reasonably educational and entertaining for audiences who may not be as historically knowledgeable about the independent scene as I am. But most people aren't. Most people are Marvel DC fans, so they don't know this history. And so I do tip my hat to Cassavetes for doing it. He's doing a very nice job on that work. And while I could pick a minute or two from my own observations, I owe him the respect, who clearly did his own research. He did the work. So unless I go do the research and find something that's legit to posit the question about, I'm going to acquiesce to what he presented on his video, because it is very well documented, and he does list his documentations and his sources in his descriptions of his videos. So I know he's done the work. So I have a lot of respect for Alan and what he does on his channel. So anyway, I give this also a 4 out of 5. Now let's go ahead and take another quick look at the rest of Alan's page here. As you can see, he's got quite a bit of stuff. And then see, you see that, the history of the Elementals was done before the rise and fall of COMICO. It should have been the other way around. And now he's just done this new one on Fish Police, Life in a Fishbowl. I haven't had a chance to watch that because that just came out yesterday. But it looks like he's going to go solidly through different series that came out through COMICO and give a little bit more history on that and what happened to them after they left COMICO, because many of these series bounced around throughout the 90s and 2000s of different companies to get recollected and redistributed and stuff. So yeah, very good stuff from Alan. We've got a lot of respect for what he's doing over there at Strange Brain Parts. I love some of the stuff he's got here. He's talking about different things about the Alien illustrated story by Walt Simonson and how that compares to the movie. He's got the origin history of Thunder Bunny. That ought to be cool. I haven't had a chance to look at that one yet. I haven't watched this Abandoned Crisis on Infinite Earth sequel. I need to see what that's about. yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff here that looks, what happened to the last Galactus story? Okay, I probably know what he's going to say there because it's not that hard. We kind of already know what happened, but I'll see what he has to say on that one. It's a burn related thing. I like his reading list for personal favorites. That was a good episode. You might want to check that out. And quite a lot of stuff on here. Um, again, he's got an independent comics collection list here. So, a lot of respect here for Alan. And he's got a good readership following. He's got over 51,000 subscribers on his channel for 369 videos. So, very solid work on his part. And that's what I've got for you tonight. Not a whole lot because my co-hosts weren't able to be here tonight, and those are shorter episodes, so we didn't have a chance to really give you what Chris or John might have thought if they were here. But unfortunately, John was busy with his theatrical work this week. He'll be back hopefully in 2 weeks, and Chris had. I don't know if his refrigerator went out or if his partner just got them a new refrigerator to replace the one they had or what, but they had a new refrigerator, but he had to install and make sure everything in the kitchen was done. So not exactly going to be doing a podcast tonight. But that having been said, next week we're going to have our new book or our new next film, I should say. We're going to stick with the documentary still a little bit, but we're going to move slightly over to the film side of things and discuss the masterful designer Phil Tippett and his work in the documentary Phil Tippett, Mad Dreams and Monsters. For those who don't know who Phil is, he did the designs. As you can kind of see, he did work for RoboCop with the police machine. And, he did the AT-AT walkers for Star Wars. He does a lot of stop action design work for films for George Lucas. And, give me a second. Paul Verhoeven and other people like that. So should be a good video to watch, and we'll check out to that. And so that'll be what we're doing next week. And we'll see you on that. Now, if you have questions or you have suggestions about other YouTube video channels that you think I'm or Chris or John might be interested in, let me know. Facebook, Lewis.BrightRaven, and X at LewisBrightRave2. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven, exclusively on YouTube. And if you want to reach out to me on the email side of things, Quoth the Raven LBR72 at gmail.com is the channel email. And if I don't get back to you on that, try LewisBrightRaven at yahoo.com. I do not know what Chris has for tomorrow, if anything, for the Glass House Studios stuff, because he didn't tell me. But so I can't promote that tonight, but be sure to check out Throwing Stones at Glass House Graphics on YouTube. And I'm sure it'll have something this weekend for you guys to check out for a new interview from David Capedi and Chris. Until then, we'll see you guys next week on Monday, barring any unforeseen problems. For those who don't know, I've been in the hospital. My dad's been in the hospital. it's constant mess with health right now, but we're trying to get ourselves straightened out and back on a regular schedule again. So Monday, we're going to review, which one is this? Yes. We're going to review Dinosaur Sanctuary number 3 and 4, maybe even 5. We'll see how much I can get read this week because I'm behind. But that'll be Monday, and then Tuesday, it'll be our crowdfunding and other cool stuff to talk about. Okay? So until then, you guys have a safe weekend, and we'll see you next time on Quoth the Raven. This Bright Raven with the Raven, nevermore.